Good day. It is Monday, February 12th, 2024. And apparently, the day before a big snowstorm that's coming, I got an emergency call on my phone. Anyhow, if you have any questions, please contact me at the office at 860-549-3444. And now let's begin. One of the chief pieces of news these days is about Joe Biden's mental capacities. Um, as man on the street, but simply aware of what medicine and patients look like, the man has advanced dementia and, in addition, is on uppers, in my best guess, in preparation for his speeches and public appearances. Those things that have been called gaffes are not gaffes. They are lapses in his memory where his brain simply does not connect from where he was to where he should be next. So that's my 2 cents. And any of a number of important medical sources have said the same thing. Anybody who disagrees, in my opinion, is simply covering up for a very disabled, demented man who should not be president and certainly should not be reelected as president. You may not like Trump, but he does not have the same issues that Biden does. Now, does Trump make mistakes and miscall things? I've watched him. I've watched him fairly carefully. Yeah, he makes mistakes. As a matter of fact, he made silly mistakes, implying that NATO nations that don't pay up should be invaded, or if they're invaded, they wouldn't be defended. And the other thing is making fun of Nikki Haley's husband, who is in the military in a way. But those are stupidities, which amazingly never get transformed into his policies, which were very effective for the lower and middle income classes. The upper economic classes have done well and been able to handle this current inflation, which is the highest in 20 years. Just because the rate of inflation is declining does not mean that we are still not greatly inflated. Which brings to mind, I know that you're saying, why are you talking so much politics? Because it helps, because what is being hurt is the lower and middle income classes who are my patients in an inner city practice of internal medicine and cardiology. I can see their pain with this, and so can they. Well, all right, let's get to some medical stuff. I encourage all to go to my website. Put my name in Google, H. Robert Silverstein, MD. You'll find a link. Take that link to the website. If you want to go directly to the website, it is, of course, www. and then THE, the PMC, Preventive Medicine Center.org, thepmc.org. And on that is a lecture presentation that I just gave to the Department of Medicine at St. Francis Hospital, December 7th, interesting day, of course, remembrance of the Japanese bombing Pearl Harbor. December 7th, 12/23, 12/7/23. See, I had a little lapse there. Now, does that mean that I'm not psychologically able or that I have dementia? Some of you may think so, but continuing on, the lecture presentation is called The Unhappening of Heart Disease. I chose that word because that's the new trend in medicine, to come up with something clever rather than the routine, dry scientific language. So I said The Unhappening of Heart Disease, and then there is a video presentation of that I made December 7th, 2023, to the Department of Medicine at St. Francis Hospital. And it basically says most of the things that I say. Well, what are some of the things that I say? First of all, let me get a point. I recently spoke at the largest Black Baptist church in the state of Connecticut. And the thing that caught most attention when I said that the number one food associated with weight gain or lack of weight loss was eating chicken. Well, you can imagine what you think. Hang on. Got it. You can imagine what they thought. You can imagine what the response was. But I want to read something to you that a very close friend of mine wrote to me. Chickens, farm chickens never breathe fresh air. They are penned into a tiny cage with barely enough room to breathe, exercised only because the conveyor belt underneath the bird's feet moved like a treadmill 10 minutes every hour. The bird on your plate or the part that you order was fed the worst possible food laced with antibiotics and medication to wipe out any trace of bacteria or disease. And then the chicken spends its life under neon lights and never sees the light of day. Then they are put on a conveyor belt where they are passed through a carbon dioxide room where they all go unconscious but are alive. This makes them easy to hang from their feet without any fight. A little ways down the hanging conveyor, their neck slides through a device that places the neck precisely so that a rotating razor blade cuts their neck through the jugular and carotid artery, leaving the head still attached. This allows the heart to keep pumping to bleed out the bird, get rid of the blood. Then the birds are pulled through a long trough of hot water that both removes yellow fat deposits from the skin as well as loosening the feathers. It goes on from there, and I'm going to get permission, hopefully get permission from the person who wrote me that to put it on the website for people to see. So the number one food that correlates with weight gain and lack of weight loss, eating chicken. Now, in the presentation of December 7th, I have a habit, interestingly, I find it interesting, that I put sort of the important timing, an important phrase after rather than before what I should have said. Instead of saying in the presentation of December 7th, I should have said in the December 7th presentation. That's much more concise and verbally correct. In the presentation of December 7th, 2023, I make it very clear that the human biology is essentially vegan. I don't believe in being 100% about virtually anything. And so the exception to that rule is dairy products, which I believe cause cancer of the breast, cancer of the prostate, endometriosis, uterine fibroids, ovarian cysts, breast cysts, breast masses, sore throats, predisposition to the flu and the coronavirus, period. And then, of course, the immune system, I believe, is weakened by sugar intake. I don't recommend fruit juices, except, once again, exception to the rule, pomegranate juice. Palm Wonderful, the one that's in the refrigerated case, is the only one that I recommend. And even then, I don't recommend drinking that every day. I do recommend green tea and putting some moringa, moringa powder in your tea, and dandelion tea, along with your green tea, along with your white tea. And if you do drink alcohol, it should be 4 drinks a week or less, not more. 4 drinks a week or standard drinks, 5 or 6 ounce glasses of wine, 1 shot of whiskey, 1 can of beer, 4 a week or less. And if you drink coffee, 1 to 2 a day. Now, there is a big discussion that more coffee may be of benefit, but I'm not recommending that per se. So in that presentation of December 7th, 2023, I literally show the mouth of a carnivore. A carnivore has fangs and claws. The jaw comes down in a scissors action. The teeth are sharp oh, did you notice my mispronunciation? You better think about my mental capabilities. The teeth are sharp all the way to the back, and that animal can safely digest rotten meat. Safely digest roadkill and rotten meat. The human biology, on the other hand, is like chimpanzees and gorillas, you and me. And when I say you and me, I mean all of us, all of all of us watching the show, and hopefully a lot more. Um, we have 4 poorly designed teeth for tearing meat. So that's 4 out of 32, which says that it would probably be safe for the human biology, for the human body to ingest palm-sized servings, your palm for you, my palm for me, palm-sized servings of animal protein, of which currently I think fish is the safest, um, and bison steak or hamburger would be next. And frankly, I think lamb before I even recommend chicken last of all. What about eggs? They fit in that list also, ahead of chicken. So fish, bison, eggs, lamb, and then chicken. We are talking health, and we are also talking what is my best guess. Doctors guess at every step. And the best doctors have the best guessing rate. So what you're getting from me today is my best guesses. And then you have to decide whether you think I know what I'm talking about or not. My suggestion is go to the website, see the presentation, www.thepmc.org, thepmc.org, and see the December 7th, 2023 Department of Medicine video presentation by myself and the person who taught me the most about nutrition. I'd already been in that direction, but he really fine tuned it. William Spear. William Spear is a demigod and living saint. Um, if you wish, if you can, you might contact him for a consultation. He is just amazing. Now, going on. So, what food is associated with longevity? Turns out beans, legumes are the one food that is most associated with longevity. Now, it turns out that that's because of what also goes along with it. The human body, to say it another way, is fiber based at the 90%, 80 to 90% level. Somebody did a recent study where they looked at some Central American Indian group, and they studied their human excrement, their poop, and found out that they were 80% vegan vegetarian on organic, fresh, whole foods. Why do I say fresh? Because they didn't have refrigerators back then. So the idea is, hang on, got to take this call. I can't talk right now. I'm doing my TV show. I'll call you back. Yes, I'm home doing this. And I hope you enjoy these shows. If you do, let the station know or let me know at my website, www.thepmc.org. And so going on, I've said a bunch of times, maybe that also means something. The correct body habitus, how we're built, should be abdominal clear lines of definition and demarcation. That's a tough one and requires lots of exercise as well as reduced percent body fat. As you will, try to get as much exercise in you can. Here's one of my little helpful hints. This is a cooking timer. And what I do is I set it for 20 minutes. And at the end of 20 minutes, I get up and I do some cross-country ski machine motion with neoprene covered 3, 5, and 10-pound weights to exercise. And I change the weights until I start to get short of breath. And that's when I stop. So enough about that. I strongly recommend Tai Chi as an exercise. As a matter of fact, it was a study was found. A study showed that Tai Chi was better than aerobic exercise for maintaining conditioning and mental capacity. Let's see. Looking for any others. Oh, all right. So what I usually say about what I recommend is brown rice, vegetables, beans, fruit, nuts, and seeds. And of course, there are 5 basic activities that create virtually all the diseases we're familiar with. Now, they probably create rheumatoid arthritis and multiple sclerosis, but I don't really know that. Although my position is that people won't have anything go wrong if they don't anger their genetic makeup. So what I mean by that is diseases occur if and only if the person with a genetic predisposition does what is necessary to express that genetic predisposition. So I'm including gallstones, I'm including hemorrhoids, constipation, diverticulitis. Interestingly, alcohol has been found related to the development of diverticulitis. That was new information to me. Last night I sent to the head of cardiology how glutamate infusions at open heart surgery reduced complications after the surgery. What I said to him is I did not know. And when I sent it to the chief of cardiologists, Murthapa Prakash, everybody calls him Prakash. I don't know why we call him by his last name, but we do. He's the head of cardiology at St. Francis Hospital. He said he didn't know it either. So he said he was going to transfer that information to our open heart surgical team. Now, there is a big trend towards doing coronary angiography through the wrist. As a matter of fact, doing much angiography through the wrist. I do believe that if you have that Raynaud's tendency, that you should probably talk the angiographer into going through different blood vessels. Although they give it a dilator of nitroglycerin, verapamil, and lidocaine as they do the procedure. Now, getting back to what it is that makes diseases, essentially nothing goes wrong with the human body if you don't anger it by what do you do? And what are the things that people do that make diseases, disorders occur? They breathe wrong. That's like smoking or being in smoke, dust, and fumes, and frankly, living near an interstate or major highway. They drink wrong. That's other than green and white tea or some kombucha. If you don't know what that is, check it out. I get my kombucha, so to speak, everywhere. Trader Joe's has it, Big Y has it, Whole Foods has it. And I buy it in the big containers. I guess it's 2-quart containers, and then sort of slowly drink it up. One of the things that to change, all right, so breathing, drinking, eating, 80 to 90%, ideally organic and unprocessed whole foods, exactly as they grow up out of the ground and in the field. So that is basically saying nothing processed. That's like saying brown rice, millet, quinoa, amaranth, hulled, Hulled, hulled barley, oat groats, not steel cut oats, not oatmeal. And again, nothing I say is 100%. So you want to use as few processed foods as possible. So breathe, drink. So that would be grains, vegetables, beans, fruit, nuts, and seeds. All the vegetables except red and white potatoes. What about them occasionally? Most people don't have, forgive me for saying it the honest truth, most people don't have good sense and they eat way too much red and white potatoes. I know they're tasty. We'll get to that in a minute. Grains, vegetables, beans, lentils, chickpeas, black-eyed peas, split peas, red kidney beans, white kidney beans, great northern beans, etc., etc. But not cooked with salt pork, ham, hock, smoked turkey wings, large amounts of beef. And if you do cook with bones, then you don't eat the soup that day. You put it in the refrigerator and then skim the fat off tomorrow before you eat the soup. Frankly, if you make it as a broth with no salt, and we'll talk about salt substitute in a minute. If you make it as a broth with no salt, then you can literally make miso soup the next day. So grains, vegetables, beans, fruit, the ideal fruit for weight loss is berries, not cherries, not grapes, not apples, not plums, not peaches, not pears, not especially not bananas. And grains, vegetables, beans, fruit, nuts, almonds, pecans, walnuts, not cashews, nor macadamia nuts. Uh, and I'm pausing because I'm trying filbert. That's what I was trying to pull up. Almonds, pecans, walnuts, and filbert nuts. Filbert is a low-fat nut. And then fruit nuts and seeds, pumpkin seeds, poppy seeds, sunflower seeds, but don't get them salted. The dietary approach is a bit more difficult and less convenient than grain than fish, chicken, turkey, meat, cheese, and eggs. There used to be a store in Glastonbury that I just loved the name of it. It was called Center of the Plate. And what it sold was all kinds of animal protein, fish, chicken, turkey, meat, eggs. That is the wrong idea. The right idea is mostly cooked foods, lentil soups, barley soups, um, vegetable soups, and so on. Vegetables should be 2/3 cooked and 1/3 raw. And again, I'm giving you my best guess after 225,000 patient visits, and do as you will. But there is a path to your avoiding healthcare costs and so on. By the way, I went to Mark Cuban's website for lower cost drugs, and his drugs really are lower cost. So I'm sort of into recommending that. I've tended to recommend goodrx.com, but I encourage you to look at Mark Cuban's Cost Plus website and then have your physician order from there. You'll probably save money by paying cash unless your copay is $3 or $4. So his prices tend to be quite inexpensive. Now, grains, vegetables, beans, fruit, nuts, and seeds, and exercising to the point of abdominal clear lines of definition and demarcation, not smoking, limit alcohol to 4 drinks a week or less, positive attitude. Much of anxiety and depression is related to unrealistic expectations. I know you know it, but you have to really accept it with humility. Life can be very difficult. Accept those difficulties and deal with them as best possible. Sometimes the load may seem overwhelming, and if that's the case, then get psychological support. And if you need it, current therapy. Some of the newer medications that are coming out are getting better and better. You know, you've probably heard my position on medications. It is a joke that is universally, get that, universally, 100%, 100% laughed at when I say, actually, I can remember one exception, and I'll tell you what that was. It was sort of actually funny. All drugs are poison. I hope I don't kill you. That's what I say to any patient who wants to know about the downsides of a medication. Now, why would I recommend a medication? There's a time and a place for everything. One of the examples I say is if you go to the emergency room with a broken leg and the bone has pierced the skin, do you want me to call the acupuncturist or the orthopedic surgeon? And the answer is, of course, you need to see the orthopedic surgeon for that particular problem. Now, one time, a patient, I was explaining the history of one of the medications that I prescribe. It's called warfarin. And an elderly mother and a daughter were sitting there. And just incidentally, I remarked, this used to be called rat poison because that's how they killed rats. They would literally bleed to death. And I said, of course, we prescribe it in a safe limit. The patient and her daughter never came back to me after that. So when I say universally laughed at, all drugs are poison, I hope I don't kill you, there was one exception to that. One exception in 225,000 patient visits. Now, going on, um, let's see here. So tomorrow is apparently a big snowstorm, and they're predicting that there will be outs, electric loss of electricity, and so on. I have been recommending the Generac generator. Apparently, it comes in two varieties: natural gas, which is readily available in this area, and propane tanks. So whatever your wish is, a lot of people obviously won't get it. These generators are not inexpensive. There are cheaper versions, but that one's sort of well thought out and automatic, and you can even get in a size that in case you lose power during the summer, it could run an air conditioning unit. Obviously, you have to get the right fit for your size and so on. What what do I wish for? I wish people would pay attention to what I say and to grab these opportunities for health. Uh, it's okay. So I just got a notice that in West Hartford, there's going to be a parking ban. Oh, wait a minute. What is that? That's in Hartford. There's going to be a parking ban. Um, so because of the snow, and they will have the plows out cleaning the streets. Big snow, apparently. Enjoy the snow. Enjoy the beauty of the day. Thank God things are as good as they are. They could be so much worse. And I just want to encourage everybody to find things beautiful, enjoyable, and so on. Okay, I've reached the end. I hope I haven't bored you too much. If you have questions, call me at the office, H. Robert Silverstein, MD, for the Preventive Medicine Center in West Hartford Cable Access TV. Thanks.